Welcome back to Healing Gardens, where we explore the profound connections between plants, wellness, and the wisdom that grows in our own backyards. Today I'm thrilled to share something that's been transforming my approach to sweetness, health, and self-sufficiency in ways I never imagined possible. What if I told you there's a plant that not only tastes sweet but also holds incredible healing powers, and you can easily grow it yourself? Prepare to be amazed as we uncover the secrets of this remarkable sugar plant that could revolutionize your home remedies and relationship with sweetness itself. Let me introduce you to Stevia rebaudiana, the true healing sugar plant that's been quietly revolutionizing how we think about sweetness. While most people know stevia from those little white packets at coffee shops, the living plant is an entirely different experience and far more powerful than any processed extract could ever be. This South American native has leaves that are naturally 300 times sweeter than refined sugar, yet contain 0 calories and actually support metabolic health rather than destroying it. For centuries, the Guaraní people of Paraguay and Brazil have called stevia ca a, which translates to sweet herb. They used it not just as a sweetener, but as a medicine to regulate blood sugar, support kidney function, and promote overall vitality. Spanish conquistadors documented its use in the 16th century, but it wasn't until Japanese researchers in the 1970s began studying stevia seriously that the Western world started paying attention. Now, in 2025, as we collectively wake up to the devastating health impacts of refined sugar and artificial sweeteners, stevia is experiencing a renaissance, but not the processed powder kind. We're talking about the living, breathing plant that you can grow on your windowsill. The taste of fresh stevia leaves is unlike anything you've experienced. There's an initial burst of intense sweetness, followed by a subtle cooling sensation and a hint of licorice-like complexity. Unlike artificial sweeteners that leave a metallic aftertaste, or sugar that creates that familiar crash and craving cycle, fresh stevia leaves deliver pure sweetness that actually satisfies. When you chew a single leaf, you're not just tasting sweetness, you're experiencing the full spectrum of beneficial compounds that nature packaged together, compounds that work synergistically in ways that isolated extracts simply cannot replicate. The real magic of stevia extends far beyond its ability to sweeten without calories. The stevioglycosides in stevia leaves, particularly stevioside and rebaudioside A, have been shown in numerous studies to actually lower blood sugar levels rather than spike them. This is revolutionary. We're talking about a sweetener that helps regulate the very metabolic problem that conventional sweeteners create. For people managing diabetes or prediabetes, fresh stevia isn't just a substitute, it's a therapeutic tool. But the healing properties don't stop at blood sugar regulation. Recent research has revealed that stevia possesses remarkable antioxidant activity with compounds that combat free radical damage at the cellular level. Studies published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry have demonstrated that stevia leaves contain flavonoids, tannins, and phenolic compounds that rival green tea in their protective effects. These antioxidants work to reduce inflammation throughout the body, supporting everything from cardiovascular health to cognitive function. Perhaps most exciting is stevia's antimicrobial activity. Research has shown that stevia extracts can inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria, including the Lyme disease bacteria and even some antibiotic-resistant strains. Traditional healers have used stevia leaf poultices for wound healing and oral health for generations, and modern science is now validating these practices. When you grow your own stevia, you're cultivating a plant that can sweeten your tea in the morning and help heal a minor cut in the afternoon. That's the kind of multifunctional medicine that gets me excited about plant wisdom. Growing stevia is surprisingly straightforward once you understand its preferences, and the rewards are absolutely worth the minimal effort required. Stevia is a tender perennial that thrives in warm conditions, behaving like an annual in most climates but easily overwintered indoors. Start with either seeds or small starter plants, though I'll be honest, seeds can be finicky with low germination rates, so purchasing a small plant from a reputable nursery gives you a significant head start and ensures you're getting genuine Stevia rebaudiana, rather than one of the less sweet imposters sometimes sold under the stevia name. Alright, so, you'll want to choose a location that receives 6 to 8 hours of sunlight daily. Stevia really loves warmth and light, but, it does appreciate a little afternoon shade if you're in an extremely hot climate. The soil requirement is actually pretty crucial. Stevia demands well-draining, slightly acidic to neutral soil, with a pH somewhere between 6.5 and 7.5. It's a good idea to mix in plenty of compost to create that rich, loose texture. This helps the roots spread freely while still retaining just enough moisture to keep your plant happy. And if you're growing in containers, which honestly works beautifully for stevia, go ahead and use a high-quality potting mix, amended with perlite, for drainage and worm castings for gentle, sustained nutrition. You want to water consistently, but never let your stevia sit in soggy soil. The plant prefers those evenly moist conditions, so just water when the top inch of soil feels dry to the touch. During peak growing season, this might actually mean daily watering for container plants. Especially if the weather's hot, feed your stevia every 2 to 3 weeks with a balanced organic fertilizer, but avoid those high nitrogen formulas that promote leafy growth at the expense of sweetness. Yeah, you can actually reduce the sweet compounds by overfeeding with the wrong nutrients. Harvest becomes possible once your plant reaches about 8 inches tall. The key to maximizing sweetness is really all about timing. Stevia leaves are at their sweetest just before the plant flowers, since that's when it concentrates its steviol glycosides in preparation for reproduction. Pinch back the growing tips regularly to encourage bushier growth and delay flowering. When you're ready for a major harvest, cut stems back by about half their height in the morning after the dew has dried, but before the afternoon heat kicks in. The plant will rapidly regenerate, giving you multiple harvests throughout the growing season. Fresh stevia leaves, really transform how you experience sweetness in everyday life. The simplest application is just brewing them directly into tea. Add, say, 3 to 5 fresh leaves to your teapot along with your regular tea, and you'll have perfectly sweetened refreshment without adding anything after the fact. This works beautifully with herbal blends, green tea, or even homemade lemonade, where you're steeping the leaves during the brewing process. The gentle sweetness infuses gradually, creating a more balanced flavor than dumping sweetener in afterward. For cooking and baking, things get a bit more creative since stevia doesn't have the bulk or chemical properties of sugar. Make a stevia simple syrup by simmering a large handful of fresh leaves in 2 cups of water for about 20 minutes, then straining and storing in the refrigerator. This liquid sweetener works wonderfully in smoothies, salad dressings, and even cocktails. Dried stevia leaves can be ground into a powder using a spice grinder. Just start with small amounts as the sweetness is incredibly concentrated. A 1/4 teaspoon of this powder replaces roughly 1 cup of sugar, though you'll need to experiment since sweetness perception varies. Beyond the kitchen, stevia's antimicrobial and skin-soothing properties make it valuable in natural beauty formulations. A strong stevia tea can be used as a facial toner to help balance skin and reduce inflammation. Some herbalists, incorporate dried stevia into toothpaste recipes for its sweetness and bacteria-fighting properties. The sustainability angle here is profound. You're replacing products that typically contain refined sugar or synthetic sweeteners with something you grew yourself, using no fossil fuels for transportation, no industrial processing, and no plastic packaging. As you embark on growing your own stevia, you're doing more than adding another plant to your garden. You're reclaiming sovereignty over something as fundamental as sweetness itself. You're choosing to step away from the industrial food system that profits from our sugar addiction and toward a relationship with plants that actually supports your well-being. This isn't just about substituting one sweetener for another, it's about fundamentally transforming how sweetness functions in your life. Start small if you're new to this. Get one plant, learn its rhythms, taste its leaves at different times of day and different stages of growth. Notice how your body responds to this form of sweetness versus the refined sugars or artificial sweeteners you've been consuming. Share leaves with friends and family. There's something magical about handing someone a fresh leaf and watching their face light up when they taste that natural sweetness. These small acts of sharing plant wisdom create ripples that extend far beyond your own garden. I'd love to hear about your stevia journey. Are you already growing it? What creative uses have you discovered? For those just starting out, what questions do you have? Drop your experiences and questions in the comments below. This community thrives when we share our knowledge and support each other's growth. If this exploration into the healing sugar plant has inspired you, please subscribe to Healing Gardens so you never miss our deep dives into the plants that nourish, heal, and sustain us. Share this video with friends, family, or anyone in your life who's ready to discover that the sweetest things in life don't have to come with health consequences. They can actually enhance our vitality. Together, we're cultivating more than gardens. We're growing a movement toward genuine wellness, one plant at a time.